Finally, after a delayed start, that's my fault for a 10-minute delay here, but um, I do have a paper to hand out for you. An update is, yes, the whiteboard in here says vocab quiz tomorrow. We're going to push that back to the 24th, which is next Wednesday, because there's one more activity that we have to do with bony fish. I think it's perch. I don't think it's trout. I think it's perch that we'll certainly look at. And then when we get towards the end of next week, we'll start reviewing. And I would venture to believe that on the 30th and the 31st of this month will be part exam. One is, of course, diagrams of the shark and the perch, and then along with the other part, and along with a essay question or two. Then the other part will be, of course, your vocabulary and then your general questions. Okay, so that's an update. It seems like it's been quite a while since we've been in here. I think it's been, Friday? What was that for first hour? It's probably that way for this class then too. All right, so what are the two classes of fish that we have talked about so far? Okay, so what's an example of a cartilaginous fish then? Okay, any type of shark, a reef, a lemon, hammerhead, tiger, the white, the great white, mako, blue tip mako, any one of those. And then the virtuarium had talked about is there an ultimate shark? Of course, there could be debate over that. Well, yes, I think the tiger shark. Of course, the great white for its size. No, maybe it's the hammerhead because of its electrical senses. Or no, maybe it's the mako because of its speed. Well, and I think it's worth mentioning that that's what the, not the narrator, the host had said. There really isn't one that really sets itself above any other, because they're just well adapted to whatever their environment is. You say, well, yeah, well, the bull shark, well, that's a freak of nature, I would say. And why would we say that the bull shark is a freak of nature? Where do we find sharks? Even that dog shark that we had cut open last week. Yeah, they're found in salt water. What's true about shark? So it can move freely in fresh water at the same time. It really doesn't have to worry about staying in salt or moving into fresh and having problems with that. No, there isn't, because of the osmotic equilibrium. Okay, so since there's so much salt on the outside of them, so think of osmosis, the movement of water, okay, where the concentration of salt is so high on the outside, okay, it's going to pull water out of there to try to equalize that equilibrium. So that's why we said the kidneys would have to work. No, I got that wrong. The concentration of the water on the outside is low, so it would be pushing it inside. So the cells are constantly removing that water, and said the kidneys would have to work overdrive because of all the water excreting to try to balance out that salt that would be circulating through its body as it's absorbed. Cartilaginous fish. What's the first one we talked about? Jaws. What's an example of a jawless fish? We said eel. We could say what might resemble an eel. Hag something. A hagfish, then a lamprey as well. So what was a common name we could give the hagfish? It's tough. They're scavengers, so for them to actually take a bite of something, it's tough for them to do. Just on account of without a jaw and without a lot of muscles to push behind them, What do they do to try to accomplish this? What was another name for the hagfish? Yeah, the knotfish. Okay? I suppose they're funny because they say lots of not jokes. Not. Maybe they tie themselves in 2 knots. That's why they're could be funny. So they're not knots. No, maybe. I don't know. Move along, move along. Okay, bony fish. Okay. You know, it's usually about this time of year. I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to get a fishing license again. Last year I didn't, because I think it's relaxing when we go camping, and then okay, I'm going to walk down to the lake, and so educate me here, people. Okay? We've got Lake Cochran. We've got Lake Thompson. We've got Lake Ponset. I don't know why they don't say Lake Oakwood. They just say Oakwood Lakes. Let's see here. Where else is there a state park within a 100-mile vicinity that also has a lake? By Canastota. Lake Vermilion. So I think that's enough. I think everyone would put Lake Thompson at the top. Then where?
Thompson's kind of aren't good fishing lately. It's kind of the Dead Sea.
Did you see? We had that debate earlier because you told me Oakwood, and I said no. My wife tells me that Oakwood is a recreational lake, not a fishing lake. Is that?
I say it's a fishing lake.
You say it's a. So, do you ever like being told that you're wrong?
Oh, it happens.
So I don't know if you're wrong in this case or not, but it just, and that's all I've ever seen is there's more recreation on that lake than there is fishing. So Ponset, it's just not, I couldn't tell you because I've never been able to catch a fish there. That's what gets so frustrating. Well, and you have to have a boat too, I think. It helps, I'm sure. The reason I say that is when it's not that you're looking at the behavior of fish, okay? Well, kind of. But the best time for fishing for shore, for trying to catch walleye, I think that's probably the prize fish in South Dakota. What time frame for those of you who do fishing, where are we looking at for a time frame for catching walleye from shore? When I need to be a little more specific. Time frame as far as month, not because yes, it's going to be 4 p.m. till I would say more so closer to dark. But when we say time frame, I mean time of year. Month-wise, yes, shore fishing. Is it May and June? July, it's too late. Spawning, is that right? Okay. So just even knowing something about the reproductive behaviors of these fish would just tell you possibly where they are at. So when we say 4 o'clock, is it because feeding then and spawning? I mean, if we already have established they're spawning, but why would you still want to wait till after dark? Is that when they feed then? Okay. But why can't I catch, well, we already said the right spot. So why can't I catch a fish though? Not even a bite. It's just Huh. But you can catch walleye whenever and they're still good.
Yes.
Bullheads, you gotta, don't get into August, right? Okay.
You usually find a slope in pretty good shape.
But getting back to the original point I was making is, I was saying, yeah, it's about that time and I start to get excited maybe about the camping season that seems like it's far around the corner looking outside, and start watching YouTube videos about how to clean fish. Well, you got to catch them first, but one of the things that I've seen on a lot of cleaning fish videos is on that walleye, underneath this structure, and it's not the gills, but is it called like they call it a cheek muscle? They say that is the best part. So you're nodding your head, yes.
Yeah, if they're big enough to get it.
Yeah, but that's just what, one bite? Okay. Yes? No. Did we counter absent? Okay. Yep. Okay. So we said it's how big they are. Isn't that a lot of work for just one bite?
It's pretty quick. You just take your knife and go. You do a circle.
Okay.
And comes right out. But yeah.
All right. So, in your experiences, are you a good cleaner of fish?
I like to pride myself on good cleaning.
So no one finds a bone.
Uh,
No, we won't go in.
Once in a while, but yeah.
Okay. But, and of course, like, tell myself, I got to catch them first, but I just don't have any luck doing that. But, so one of the things we talk about, this structure called the operculum, and it's what covers the gills, and it's what opens up like this. So when that does that, I suppose it causes or forces the water through there, and as the water's going over these gill structures, then that's how the oxygen then is absorbed. Is that facilitated diffusion, active transport, osmosis, or simple diffusion? All these biology terms we learned 1 and 2 years ago. Got a 25% chance. Are blood gases very big? They are not. So would it take a complex process like facilitated diffusion? Absolutely not. It's just simple diffusion then. Okay? So, moving along then. What's your bait for walleye then?
I kind of just do it like
I use minnows.
minnows, yeah. Or worms, sometimes worms.
I've tried that too. So that is the proverbial response that, oh, you should have been here yesterday. You heard that before?
All the time.
All the time. Yeah.
Usually you can throw anything that smells terrible down.
Okay. But, and I know, of course, I think a lot of people would agree that fishing and camping may go hand in hand, and I think probably the best place to do that is either Lake Thompson or Lake Ponset, because when you do that, okay, it's one of those aspects to where if you're in the right spot, you just walk out the back door of your camper and you're right at the lake surface to go fishing. But to me, also when you go to these bigger lakes, I don't like sitting in the wind either, but you don't have any control over that, but oh well. It's supposed to be relaxing, right? But it's also frustrating.
If I bring some pickled further in from this weekend,
I thought you said pickled worms.
Oh,
Oh, I thought you meant use that as bait and just say, would you try this pickled worm? Oh, pickled northern. Hmm.
dissolves the bones, doesn't it?
Oh.
Do any ice fishing, Mr. Wagner? Did 2 weeks ago. Nothing yet. We're up. I have a tiny slough because there was much ice.
Okay. And when we say progressive specialization of jaw structure and feeding, for the same reason that I would be led to believe that this operculum, okay, what's the operculum? Does what? Right. So we said when they open up, and then the jaw has to open up too to let water in through the mouth and then through the gill structure. I hope that's right. I'm not making this up. It's okay. So, what I think is respiration and possibly feeding kind of intermixes with itself, because I think when I was if you want to call it a work study or teacher's aide at Worthington Community College years ago, the professor had walleye in northern. You wouldn't keep northern in a fish tank, would you? You could.
It's cool, I guess. I don't know.
It had to have been walleye. So sometimes it was my task to go grab some minnows, go purchase them at a gas station, just charge them and bring them back to the lab and then throw them into the tank. And sometimes, of course, they'll go darting right after that minnow. But I think what happens is there's no way you can see this with the naked eye because the minnow's there, then it's gone. Okay? So if you slow down the time frame enough, as that jaws open up, just like drawing water in for respiration, it's going to draw those minnows in at the same time. Okay? And when that opens up, that pressure differential sucks that right in. Okay? And that's why we would venture to say that feeding and respiration are tied together with this. Okay. Want to do this. And then, yeah. Then we'll stop when we get towards the end. Then we will hand out your papers, and it says due the 24th, okay? And you've all spent enough time in here when it comes to due dates. They can change, but what direction do they go? Does that, it says 124. So does that number get bigger or smaller? Then the due date gets closer. So would we say maybe the 25th or the 26th? And it's possible. So we'll see how this week shakes out because we got a lot of moving parts going on. We're not quite halfway through the chapter yet. So probably not the 24th. Probably more so the 26th. Okay, so we will stop there for today. We'll hand out these papers so you can at least head start on them. And then tomorrow we'll continue talking about the bony fish. I was thinking that the reason I said the 24th is maybe the 23rd on Tuesday. We'll dissect those perch. Take a look at them. All right. So to the best of your knowledge, I know when we get to the spring semester, sometimes there's activities that take place in the school that requires for you to be gone. To the best of your knowledge, is there any reason that we would be gone on the 23rd?
Yep.
There is. Okay? How about the 22nd then? Monday.
No.
Okay, maybe we'll do that on Monday then. Okay, we'll know more when tomorrow rolls around. Okay, we'll catch up to you next time.